Welcome, everyone, to the Feminine Outliers podcast, your dose of fun, life advice, and experiences from two African professional women living and working in the Western world. We are your hosts, Zelda Wasal,
and Choolwe Mandona.
and we are excited to have you here with us. Welcome back um, again to our podcast. We are really excited about today's episode because, as you saw in the title, we are going to be doing a travel Q&A session. Basically, it's going to be a fun, lighthearted session in which we kind of just discover how we travel, what are our traveling styles, what we like to do, what we enjoy about traveling, because it's something that we both value. So, I'm super excited because this is going to be fun, entertaining, and we haven't practiced these questions beforehand. So, it's just going to be kind of like a not rapid fire, but it's just going to be random questions, and we're going to somehow, I can't wait to hear what Choi has to say in regards to these
Mm-hmm.
questions. But for now, we will start with our unlearning pieces that, you know, as per usual, we usually start with them for most of our episodes, except for the career episode series. So, Choi, what are you unlearning today?
Yeah. So this week I am unlearning not letting others dictate my narrative. Um,
Hmm.
and that could be in anything. So when I say narrative, I am referring to how I see things, how I look at things, how I think about things. Um, and, on a daily basis, we're constantly bombarded with social interactions with friends, family, co-workers, and of course, people are relating to us or like to me, um, with their own ideas of how they see things. Um, but I've come to realize that I am doing myself a disservice when I don't consider my own thoughts and my own voice in how I see things. And even from a professional standpoint, where I am learning to learn things for myself, not relying on just my coworkers. Of course, it's good to have people I could confirm my understanding, but I'm starting to see the value in having my own understanding of the material that I work on, and I'm extending that to my personal life. And what I'm coming to realize is that the more I do this, the more natural confidence I have um, with whatever I am doing in my life. And I think earlier on, I would entertain, or I would maybe even take the average of people's thoughts and then consider that the truth, without really asking myself, how do I think about this? How do I feel about this? And I'm just realizing that no, I also do possess power, and my thoughts have an energy, and they lead to a narrative, or they lead to something. And so I should walk confidently and boldly in my narrative. And even if my narrative is wrong, of course, at some point I'll be challenged by it. Like, I will learn. Maybe something that I expected doesn't work out, and then from there I'll be able to say, okay, what was what was different? Like, what could I have done differently? How could I have thought about this? But until then, I should just be bold and confident and proud of the way I see things and do things, and yeah, just own my own story.
I mean, That's a good one. I would say that it reminds me of like you know how sheep just follow the flock and they just
Mm,
go. In my head, I feel like they just go with the narrative and just like they don't think for themselves. And what you're basically saying is, I also need to stop and think for myself and form my own, narrative on what's happening and not just let other people, tell me this is what's happening or influence my decisions. Now, obviously, it's a balancing act because we also need to
mhm,
hear what other people have to say. But I think it becomes more of an issue of having intuition as
mhm,
to is what they're saying really helping me out or really giving me a different perspective, or is there a different meaning behind what they're saying, and if they're are they not really trying to help me out? I think that's when
mhm,
having intuition and the ability to decipher what people are saying really comes into play, because obviously, as you,
mhm,
you mentioned rightly so, that if you're what you're thinking is wrong, obviously you said it will come to light eventually, and as you said, the consequences for everything, but like it's one of those things in which I totally agree. Like we also have to like I think about it in from a perspective of we need to also learn how to think for ourselves, because society
mhm,
will tell you one thing. Society has certain in general, no matter what you're doing, there's kind of like a default way of thinking, doing things
mhm.
based on what society sets, and it's
Yeah.
so easy to be a sheep and just go ahead with the narrative that society has set out for you,
Mhm,
um, without questioning it. And that's something that, you know, I believe when you question it, you come up with your own narrative and you start to think, okay, actually, I don't have to do things in XYZ manner. I can do things in ABC manner because it makes the most sense to me. It matters most
mhm.
to me. It works best for me.
Yeah.
So I really like that because I think it's important for us to, you know, I feel like you grow the most when you honestly don't just follow the general narrative blindly. Because
Yeah.
there's certain times in which we're not gonna lie, it's true and the masses are heading in the right direction. In
Mhm.
certain instances, it is true, but there's
Yeah.
also a lot of instances in which it's not necessarily true, or it might not work for you in your particular situation. You might have a
Yeah.
better option available, but if you're not someone who thinks for themselves and tries to
Mhm.
decipher these things for themselves, it's going to become an issue. Like,
Yeah.
I think it's funny because it makes me think about so entrepreneurs, because
Mm.
entrepreneurs are people who tend to a lot of times think outside of the box. They have to, because what they do requires some kind of creativity, ingenuity as they try to build their business. There's some people
Mhm.
who will just rather be employees their whole entire life. And mind you, there's nothing wrong with that. I do
Mhm.
realize in this world, we have people who are meant to be employees, and you also have employers, and there's roles
Mhm.
for everyone.
Yeah.
But I feel like entrepreneurs are examples of people who form their own narrative and stick to it. And of course, with the counsel of others and like hearing out what other people have to say, because you never know, someone else will have this golden nugget that
Mhm.
can really help you out. So I like that.
Yeah. Yeah. I like what you said as well. Like develop your intuition. It's you're pretty much developing what's a sense of what's right or wrong
Mhm.
for you, specifically for you. So, yeah. So, good one.
That's true. That's so true. From my end, unlearning that I'm unlearning the kind of the impression. Okay, I know this is not true, but the way I live sometimes, I feel like I'm unlearning that time is a infinite resource. Sometimes we have no rush to do something, or you procrastinate on doing something, and you tend to forget that time is limited. Like
Mhm.
you only have a certain number of hours per day to do
Mhm.
things.
Yeah.
And I think for me it's even worse because I have the 7 days off. And so
Mhm.
I try to do a lot of things in my 7 days off. But sometimes
Mhm.
I don't, like, I realize um, if you lack a plan, so it's kind of like you're planning to fail.
Mhm. Yeah.
Because if I don't set a time, like a plan for myself, this is what I'm going to do, and this is what time I'm going to do it at. Oh my
Mhm.
goodness, it's not happening. Like you'd think I can get a lot of done this week on, but I realized I can also get a lot of things not done
Mm.
during my week off. Because
Yeah.
if you fail to plan, it's like you're planning to fail. And um it's such an important thing that I'm learning is I have to really be more organized with my time and actually set, a schedule and say, okay, today from this time to this time, I'm doing X, Y, and Z. And yes, I'm going to become one of those crazy people who time block. Because I
Mm.
honestly feel like I don't think you have to time block every day, but
Yeah.
I feel like if you're trying to get like a lot of things done, and you're trying to be
Mhm.
very efficient, some days it is worth it. Because I'm not gonna lie, looking back this week, I'm like, what did I accomplish? I mean, I did a lot of shopping, but other than other than that, there's a lot of things that I wanted to do that I didn't get to,
Do.
and then I have one
Mm.
day left. I mean, so I
Mm.
actually have to sit down and force myself to actually get these things done. And the only way is to plan properly and realize, time is not waiting for you. Time is ticking. So you have to sit
Mhm.
down and make the most use of your time.
Mhm.
That's what I've been unlearning.
That's a good one. That time is a limited resource. And
Mhm.
I've actually come to realize that when you don't have a goal, or as you said, a set plan, it feels like time is just forever. But once you do,
Mhm.
you're like, why have I not been doing this? Like, why didn't I start earlier? There's always that feeling of why didn't I start earlier. And one thing that helped me with this thing is realizing that even the good things have an end point. Um,
Mhm.
you
I know
know,
it's sad though.
and it's
I,
hard. It's
you
so
want them to
hard.
last forever.
Exactly. You want them to last forever, but like I just always think of like sleep, for example. It's we sleep is about, let's say, 7 to 8 hours for an average person, but it might not
Mhm.
always be the case for others. But think about that, right? So that means for the rest of the 16 hours you are awake, you should be doing something else, rather than thinking about sleeping or taking a nap, right?
Mhm.
So I just that kind of helped me to navigate that, because I always try to extend the good times, the relaxing times, and be like, no, I always need my time to rest. But even rest has a limit.
True. I should know that because what do I do my week off? Sleep late, then sleep in for a long ass time. And then I realize my day is halfway gone by the time I wake up.
Yeah, no, I get it. There you go. There you go. There's your weak link there to address. But it's good. I really like that. That's a good reminder. That's a really good
Yeah.
reminder.
That's me rebuking myself and telling myself,
I
get things
like
done.
I
Wake up
like
and get
them.
things done.
The maturity. I'm impressed. That's good. You're like calling yourself out in public on a podcast. Amazing. Just great.
Growth.
I know, right?
Hashtag growth. Well, so getting to the topic at hand for today's episode. Again, we're doing a travel Q&A, which I'm excited about.
I'm
Cholie picked out the
excited.
questions.
Yes, I
So
did.
I'm excited to see what questions we have, So I will start by asking Cholie the first question, and
Hmm.
then we'll go from there.
Let's do this.
So I really like this question. I think it's a good one to start with. Do you
Okay.
prefer to travel alone or with others?
Ooh. Okay, that's a good question. Um, the first thing that came to my mind was travel alone.
Mm,
So I I would say that because there is something about being in a country you've never been and trying to navigate it. Like I just enjoy figuring things out, trying to make new like new sense, like a new understanding of something. And so
mm,
it probably just plays with my intellectual side of my brain where I'm like I'm trying to solve the problem, like where's the bus station, where's the train station, looking observing, looking at people. I'm just like a kid, like in a candy store when I'm in a new place, like that. I'm just like that's just me, right? So when I'm traveling with another person, the that that sort of those sort of moments are minimized in a way because I am focused on maintaining that, connection or relationship. And
mm-hmm,
so it's and the thing about traveling with other people is that they also have other needs that are not necessarily my needs.
mm,
So I don't know if you've been in a situation where it's like, let's say I wasn't hungry, and then someone says, "Oh, let's stop by this place. I want to grab something to eat." And then there's a part of me that's like, "Oh, okay, fine. I might as well grab something to eat as well." Like I get easily influenced. Um, so I like to follow through with the way I feel, like the way my body feels, my
mm-hmm.
mind, my heart, my excitement. Like I'm just like a little kid, and I don't know, I feel good. I feel good when I take on solo trips. It's just me and my beautiful mind, and I don't know. That's that would be my that would be my guess on that one.
It, it it's funny because I can kind of see you like being excited about figuring out where the bus stop is. You don't speak the language, but you're the kind of person being your extroverted self who would, easily walk up to people and ask them for directions and stuff like that. It's really
Exactly.
funny. It's really funny because you're the extrovert in this friendship and I'm the introvert. And I think we're opposites when it comes to that aspect of traveling.
Mm.
Because personally for me, I prefer to travel with others.
Mm.
I for a couple of different reasons.
Okay.
One, I live by myself
Mm.
and so, you know, take care of myself and do all that by myself. So when I'm traveling out of the country, I don't want to necessarily travel by myself. Like, I mean,
Mm.
going there is a different thing, but like when I'm, touring these places, I just feel like there's a certain enjoyment and bond that comes with traveling with other people, particularly if you're traveling with friends.
Mm.
So far, I've been traveling with people. Like, I mean, yeah, and I'm not talking about the physical getting there. Getting there, of course, I can get there by myself. But like now, when you're in the country, I find it so much
Mm.
fun to deal with and tackle things with other people. So all the places I've been to so far, all the different countries, I think I've been to 15 or 16 countries. I think I've been with people for all of them. And
Mm.
there's something about being with people when I think about those memories, it just makes me so nostalgic because you remember, oh, we had so much fun. We did this, we did that. Oh, we missed the train. There's a time when I went to Belgium with my colleagues when I was in medical school, and we sat in the first class cabin because we didn't realize it was first class cabin. We didn't really speak we, I mean, I should have known a bit of French, but I wasn't really following the signs because there was a group of us. And then
Yeah.
we realized when the conductor came by, he's like, "You guys are in the wrong cabin," and he's telling us this with broken English. It's this those fun experiences that you get to experience with other people. For me, it
Mhm.
just makes traveling more richer because I feel like if I'm going by myself, I'm one of those people who will
Mhm.
just be like, I just I'll get bored because I'm by myself at home already, and so I kind of love that human interaction when I'm traveling. Now, there's
Mhm.
certain trips, for example, I wouldn't mind taking by myself. Like if I decide to take myself to like an all-inclusive resort, and my goal is just to relax
Mhm.
and not do much. I mean, fine, I can take myself there. But for most
Mhm.
cases, there's something about me going with friends. I
Yeah.
really enjoy it. And it might also be a safety blanket issue for me in the sense that I feel more confident and more, you know, tackling these things as a group. Like when we're all lost, we're lost together. And so we need to ask
Ah.
directions, we can ask directions together.
Yeah.
Um, or things like that. It's funny because it took me a while to, I guess, accept that, but I realized I like that. I really enjoy the traveling with group situation. The other thing I really like about traveling with groups, okay, now this depends on what type of groups it is.
Mm.
Because if it's just me and my friends, if we had to have, usually I'm a planner, so I tend to be the one who plans like itineraries ahead of time. But I also
Mhm.
like the fact that sometimes you travel with groups like agencies and stuff. The stuff is planned for you
Yeah.
in a sense. Like I am a very lazy traveler in a sense that I love doing a lot of things, but I want
Mhm.
everything to be like I don't want to hustle to do it. Like if I could have a driver drive me around the whole entire island,
Mhm.
I would love that. If I could, instead of me having to take the bus or figure out how to take the bus, I'm very like lazy and I like things being very convenient and luxurious.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to have to put in a lot of effort to do stuff
Effort. Ah.
in
Yeah.
general. So, and I feel like that's easier when it's with groups because you kind
With
of maybe plan transportation ahead of time and things like that ahead of time. But for me, it's just in general the memories. When I think about all these places I've been to and the memories of the people I've been to, it's just so nostalgic, and I just get
mm,
so happy. Now, granted, I really like it when even if we travel with groups, I like to maybe have my own room or at least have some time to myself.
to
'Cause I feel
yourself.
like that's
Yeah.
important. But man,
Yeah.
traveling with like with friends and stuff like that, it's been fun so far. So yeah.
Okay. Wow. No, that's good. And I thought about the trips that I've taken with friends, and I would say what I do enjoy is uh like especially on the foodie side where I can share like let's say this new food we're trying. I don't have to eat it by myself, especially if it's just something I just want to try. I don't want to eat the whole thing by myself. So my friend and I remember one of the trips I took with a friend, and we just, and it was just, it was in the US local. We just, for the very first time, went to Philly. And
Mm.
so we just decided to try out different Philly cheesesteaks. At different places. So, and we just split it into half because we're like, okay, we're just gonna keep trying different Philly cheesesteaks and figure out which one is the best. So that was how we actually, had our meals for the day. It wasn't even a planned breakfast, lunch, dinner. It was like we're just gonna go around and keep trying these different foods. So I do like that fun aspect, but it's so funny when you said, yeah, with your friends. Like in my mind, I'm like, I'll make friends when I get there. I
But
was,
that's that's the extroverted self coming out because for me as an
yeah.
introvert, I feel like it'll take me getting out of my shell to
Mm,
make me these new friends. But I feel like if
yeah.
it's an organized group, like if it's a tour group, I mean, I'll automatically meet them, so I'll still end up talking to them. Because I have gone on
Right.
like a medical tour to Ecuador, and I think I only
Mm.
knew one other person because we were both from the same university, but I didn't know anyone else. So it was like brand new when I ended up making friends and I met new people. In cases like that, it's easier because we're all kind of stuck in the same, like we have the same itinerary
Mhm.
and things like that. But other than that, again, introverted
Mhm.
me is not the kind of person who will just go out there to talk to people. So maybe that's why I also, rather have go with a group of people because that means I still have that interaction because I'll be more prone to just keeping to myself. Unless
Right.
I
I
meet you on
see.
on an excursion or something like that, where I'll talk to you. But yeah,
Yeah.
but I mean, it's funny because I'm at a point in my life where I feel like I might have to get used to doing a little bit of solo traveling, just because of how my
Mhm.
schedule works, and you can't wait for other people. That's one thing I've realized. You cannot
Yeah.
wait for other people
Exactly.
to go do
Yeah.
your travel. So I might just have to get used to it. It's just that I'm like, oh, but I want to be around people and I travel. And yes, it is annoying
Yeah.
though. What you said about sometimes when everyone has different, like, different priorities of what
Mm.
they want to do when they travel, it can become a conflict
Yeah.
of interest because you might just want to sit down and relax and do absolutely nothing. Someone else will
Yeah.
want to go ham and do all the ATVing, scuba diving, whatever it is. So it can
Mhm.
become a bit of a conflict of interest because you might have different styles. It helps in that case
Mhm.
if you travel with people who like similar things.
Yes.
Uh,
Exactly.
like if you
Exactly.
that it can be really helpful because, like, for example, when I travel with Foodie Squad, we tend to like
Mhm.
doing a lot of adventurous things as well. But we always have like a day which we can, like, relax and be lazy. But
Mhm.
like it's things like that. So but that
Yeah.
definitely is an issue. It's just the things you want to accomplish. There'll be a conflict of interest between people, but yeah.
Yeah. No, you actually reminded me. I went on a camping trip with a friend. Um, and I would say we were close. And she invited me to go camping. So I just don't go camping anyhow. So I was like, you know what? This would be a great trip for us to get to know each other. And I still remember that camping trip because it was out of my comfort zone, but I really did appreciate that because I feel like we did connect, and there was something interesting about having to sleep in a tent. And I remember that night when we slept in the woods wherever we were. I can't remember exactly. It was just nice. It was just Mother Nature, rain, and all we had was like the stuff we brought and the tent. So I think for me to enjoy traveling with other people, it would be people that, as you said, are similar to me, or I enjoy their company, and I just want to strengthen, that bond or that relationship, and just to spend more time with them. Like I don't probably enjoy as much having to resolve conflicts because, as you said, there's conflicts of interest, and in my mind is like, I've only so much time in this place, and the last thing I want to do is be arguing about something. And of course, sometimes those issues happen, but I just want to be in a positive atmosphere
Mm-hmm.
for most of my time because it's limited. And so, for the most part, it's like it's easier when I'm on my own because it's guaranteed. Like I decide if I'm happy or sad. But
Mm-hmm.
but definitely enjoy it when I'm with the people that I like to be around. Because most likely they understand me and I understand them. So yeah, yeah.
Mm.
Wow. Look at us. Wow.
Okay.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
question number two.
Mm.
Hmm. So this this can go. I'm going to tag this along to this previous question because I think we can tag it in pretty easily. Do you prefer
Mm.
guided tours or independent exploration when traveling to a new place?
So, you know what? I don't remember if I've done a guided tour. And I would actually
Okay.
want to I would actually want to experience one. If I did, it was probably for a small little thing, like seeing a particular city. And I'm trying to think. I would actually want to experience. Oh, I did experience a guided tour, but that was at Miami when we went to Chicago. Did you come to Chicago for the
Mm-mm.
international students, the trip?
Mm-mm.
So that was a guided tour where it was part of the entire package to see different places, to go to particular restaurants,
Mm.
I believe, if I'm correct. Um, but that wasn't my own, like, I decided to do a guided tour. So I don't think I've done my own guided tour per se. So I would be curious
Hmm.
to do a guided tour like on
So,
my own.
I think that's something for sure to, I guess, experience. For me, huh, I think it's a mixture of both, but honestly, I think I would lean more towards guided tour because, as I mentioned earlier, I'm a bit of a lazy
Mhm.
traveler. I just like things being planned out for me. So my
Mm.
thing is this: I usually will look into the places I want to go to in this place, and I'll try and find the
Mhm.
best tour, even if it's like a tour guide company where I go on a tour to a certain place with them. I try to choose the one
Mhm.
that's most alike with the stuff I like to do, and it will take me to the most
Okay.
places I want to do. Now, a lot of the guided tours in general have downtime, like they give you time to yourself so you can explore and do certain things. Sometimes it's like a half
Mhm.
a day that you can actually do stuff because they also realize you might want to do some things that are not part of the schedule. But for me, I just
Mm.
like the fact that when I'm on vacation, when I go to a place, I really want the planning taken out of my day. Like that's what the guided
Mm.
tours do. Like you don't have to think about how am I getting from point A to point B? How much do I have to pay? I mean,
Mm.
granted you have to have cash and all that stuff, but they take the planning out of the situation.
Mhm.
And that's what I like because as I said, I just don't want to do that thinking when I'm on vacation. Uh, but it's
Mm.
still always fun to go to these other places because you also find like little hidden gems and stuff that you would ordinarily not find with a guided tour because guided tours they tend to take you to the more run of the mill places like the touristy places and stuff like
A
that. But now
tourist
if you want to
thing,
go to
yeah.
less touristy places, you have to go
Mhm.
to more of a, you know, you have to do the exploration on yourself by yourself. So I don't know. I think I
Mhm.
lean more towards guided tours for now. But if I'm with someone or if I'm with like group of friends, I don't mind us doing the whole exploration by ourselves because again, it's fun. We're in a group of people and we can figure it out. But yeah.
Mm. Yeah, I was going to say, does Google substitute for guided tour? Like, where if you just you go to a place and you Google the top tourist attractions in that place, do you think it can count
That's
as
not what I'm thinking about. I mean, guided tour, I'm thinking more like tour groups.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Like whether it's actually you're literally going with a tour group from here, like you book on one of those travel websites with a certain tour group and then they plan your whole
Mhm.
itinerary or things like that. Or sometimes when you go to a country and then you have like these excursions and stuff and they kind of set it all up for you. Like they take
Mhm.
you for the day, they bring you back at the end of the day, things like that. Because Google, that doesn't count. Everyone can do that. And it's just like that's you looking into it.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
that's me. Like,
I'm
okay.
saying
Yeah.
like you have a tour guide or someone who is like doing a lot of the planning for you. Whether it's you
Yeah.
doing it just for a day or your whole entire trip, things like that.
Okay, you know what? I on one of our trips, I would suggest then we uh do a guided tour. I'm curious to see how I would feel about it, whether I would feel I would feel like it's too structured, or I'll enjoy it because I don't have to think about it. So I think that's something I'll put in the books to explore. Hmm, good stuff.
Yeah, definitely something to explore. Okay, let's see. Question number three. And let me know if you have any questions you want to ask Joy.
Okay,
Um,
I'll let you know.
so I would say, what kind of climate is your favorite to be traveling?
Mm, okay. Um, I don't think I have a favorite. Okay. I would
Mm.
say, for me, it's based on your mental headspace, like my mental headspace. Um, I was just thinking about it this weekend, actually, about having a winter vacation. But the idea of having a winter vacation sounds pleasurable because I'm thinking of skiing. And I'm just like, oh, it would be so good
And a
to ski
cabin and
down.
hot chocolate.
I know. Exactly.
Mhm.
Exactly. Like, you're just indoors, you go outdoors, but then you're all covered up, you're in your gear and you're going down the hill, and the air is cold and crisp, and like, I don't know, there's something about a vacation like that just, it sounds appealing. And, to be fair with that one, I think I would do it with friends or with family, because it would be something where it's like, okay, we're doing this together, um, and it's just, yeah. So it appeals to me, but then I can also see how a summer vacation sounds amazing. Now, here's the thing with summer vacations. I I get over them so quickly because once I experience the heat for a couple of days and I'm excited, then after that it's like, and sometimes, if with all this climate change, sometimes the summer is not really summery because it's like too hot, and then now I'm trying to stay away from the heat. And the part I don't like about it is, like, I get so lazy, like, not in a good way. Like, I just don't want to do anything because now it's too hot. Um, but
Mhm.
I'm wondering if, because I'm learning how to swim and getting there, I'm wondering if that would change my view of a summer vacation. Like, if I have something to do to keep my mind going, like if I'm like, oh yeah, I'm definitely going to be swimming in the ocean or swimming in the pool, like, there's a reason why it's hot. Like, it's great, you get into cold water to cool down. So um yeah.
Hmm. Uh, I would say I prefer spring or autumn.
Oh,
I
okay.
feel like both those weathers are more temperate. They're more, they're kind of milder. They're not cold. They're not hot.
Mm,
They're just perfect temperature. We can wear a light jacket. Sometimes you don't even have to wear a light jacket. And then they're really good for walking because you're
mm,
not dying of heat and you're not freezing of cold.
mm-hmm.
I think that's my favorite weather to travel in. Summers, as
Hmm.
you mentioned, for me are only good when I'm actually planning a beach vacation. Now, when I'm planning a beach vacation, oh, you can be as hot as you want because I know I'll be in the ocean, I'll be in the pool, because you know me, I'm a fishy. So I'll just be in the water all day. So
Yeah.
if the plan is to go to the beach, summer
Yeah.
vacation it is. Winter vacations are not something that I have done often. It's something I want to do, but there's
Yeah.
definitely a space for winter vacation because, as you mentioned, I really want to learn how to ski. So there's
Mm-hmm.
a time and place to go for that because you can go skiing, snowboarding, you know, just having the beautiful mountains, hot tub, like
Mm-hmm.
just having a hot tub. Because I did one winter vacation when I went to the Poconos,
Mm-hmm.
and we stayed in like a cabin, and I remember It was freezing, Choolwe, freezing. So
Mm.
the walk between the house and the hot tub, oh my goodness, torture. Because you're in your swimsuit and it's freezing, it's below freezing temperatures. But the moment you
Yeah.
step into the hot tub, oh my goodness. So it's like cold, wintry, snow filled, but then you're in the hot tub and you're just like, now granted your face is a bit, it's in the open, but because you're in the hot tub
Mm-hmm.
and the steam, it's warm. So there's also a space for winter vacations. Now I know a lot of black
Mm-hmm.
people in general are like, they shy away from winter vacations. I wouldn't do it because I actually see there's actually a spot for, like, as I said, there's certain things you can do with winter vacations. There's certain aesthetic I
Mm-hmm.
want with the whole cabiny crew, the whole, winter thing.
Fireplace.
Now yeah, the fireplace, exactly. So I would
Mm-hmm.
do that, but I don't think I would do winter vacations as often as I do the other ones,
Mm.
to be
Yeah.
honest. But
Okay.
winter vacations, there's certain places I want to go to. Like I want to go visit the Alps, Colorado. I want to go. So
Mm-hmm.
there's certain places. I also want to go to Japan in like winter, like the snow, the mountains and stuff. So there's certain things, yeah, for sure. So, but I think I lean more towards spring or autumn because if it's time like walking around Europe or walking anywhere, it's easier
Mm-hmm.
for me.
Yeah. Yeah, my only thing with spring is rain. I just don't like walking in the rain. Like um yes, I could have an umbrella and a rain jacket, but there's something about when it rains, it just makes me want to hunker down and shelter and find some shelter. It doesn't it doesn't give me the energy. It doesn't energize me to explore. Um the only time I've actually enjoyed rain is like summer rain. And that was in Alabama. And because it was warm rain, it wasn't cold rain. So I try to shy away from rainy weather in general, even when I'm not even vacationing. Just in general, I like it when it's just dry. Even though it's cold or hot,
Mhm.
I just like it when it's dry. So yeah.
For sure, rain is something I try to avoid. So that means I always have to try my best to look at the weather beforehand, so that I actually know. Or if I know it's going to be a rainy season in a country, I try to
Mm-hmm.
avoid it during the rainy season. So I mean, I definitely agree with you there because that's just rain becomes an extra thing, like variable to deal with that you kind of don't want to deal with sometimes, a lot of times for me.
Mm.
Okay. Uh,
So I have a question.
okay.
My question is, what is a must-have when you're traveling?
Oh. Um,
Something you can't live without.
my passport.
Okay, outside the legal immigration system of this world, something that's personal to you, or that would, I guess, help you make your trip comfortable and fun, or you know, just something that you would carry with you because you enjoy having it.
So I don't necessarily have something like that. I would
Mm,
say one of the things that is a must have for me in general is a travel list. Like writing down what I need.
mm,
That to me is a must. Because
mm,
if I don't write down, okay, I need uh, contacts for this many days. I
mm,
need jewelry. I need this many pants, this many shoes, this or that. That's when I forget things.
mm.
Which have I forgotten things in the past? Hell yes, a lot of things. So I I've now become more organized. It's funny because I think my mom would just laugh at me because my mom used to do this. I used to wonder why would she like write down a list, but I see the importance of doing it because writing
Mm,
down that list really helps you pack and actually carry the things you really need. So for
Mhm.
me, I would say a traveling list is so important. Like just writing down, it helps you with the packing and everything. But on top of that, one of the things that has become a staple for me, that goes hand with the packing list, is packing cubes. I like packing
Mm.
cubes because I like to separate. You can either separate your outfits, or you can put pants in one thing, your dresses in one thing, shirts in one thing, shoes in a bag, and you can close it, and then you just put the packing cubes in the bag, and it just looks much neater.
Wow.
Like for
I
me, packing cubes have just revolutionized my packing, my organization
that's
skills.
that's very cool. Because I typically Marie Kondo my suitcase. The
That's what I used to.
folding. But this is now getting me interested. I'm gonna look into it. Um, because that's gonna take my organization no skills to another level.
Hmm.
Wow.
Hmm. I like packing
Okay.
cubes because now you just put them in and then you close your suitcase, and it's just much easier. It looks neater, and
Yeah.
it just makes everything
I
just
mean,
easier. And like where to get everything. Shirts are here, so I need to pull out a shirt, go here, do this or that. So I just like it. It's really good for organization. So I would say that's one thing I'd
mm,
always I would take is a packing cube in addition to my list.
okay. That's a really good one. That's a good one. For me, two things that I would take are one, socks. I I just I just don't know. There's something about having a pair of socks just in case I need to wear them. I know.
Mm,
Um because there are times when I don't know what the temperature of the room is. Like, let's say a hotel room that I would be staying. I
mhm,
don't know whether it's going to be too cold. But the one part of my body that gets cold really easily are my feet, and
mm,
I find it very hard to sleep when my feet are cold. So I just always think about having a pair of socks in my suitcase just for the sake of it, even when I'm going to a place that's hot, just in
mm.
case I
That's
need
true.
to yeah, I just need a pair of socks. The other thing that has become a staple in my suitcase is a pair of bathroom sleepers.
Oh, okay. That one I
um
wouldn't have guessed.
um no, because the thing about it is even even if I'm not going to use them in the bathroom, they're just sometimes, like, let's say I need to go to the reception from my hotel room. I
Mm.
just will have some slippers. I know the bathroom slippers may not be attractive, but depends on what my goals are.
Oh.
So, but at least I have those two things. And again, it also depends on where I'm going to be staying.
Hmm.
And it could even be an Airbnb. It could be with family and friends. I always just like to have that because there's something about having your main shoes, like whether they're boots or sneakers, but then bathroom sleepers just kind of give you this, you know, uh, sort of like intermediate support where it's like, yeah, I'm not gonna wear all my shoes all the time, but at least I need some shoes to wear around when I'm in this space. So
Okay, I guess I see what you're saying. So it's kind of like house slippers. Because you say bathroom slippers, I was thinking more specifically for the bathroom. But I can see what
yeah,
you're saying, like just in general house shoes or something like that. Yeah,
yeah,
I do take. I think that's also something I haven't thought about, but it's so true. I tend to try my best to carry them when I remember
mm-hmm,
to, because it's always helpful to have something to move around with. And then the socks, I also agree with you. Even if I'm going to a hottest place on earth, you'll find that I'll carry at
yeah,
least one pair of socks because you just never know. So I agree with you on
yeah,
that. But usually also part of the reason why I carry the socks is honestly because traveling in the plane, you need to wear socks. So
mm,
the socks are automatically carried at
Ah,
least for the trip back, because on the plane, how it gets cold sometimes. So
it it can
I have
get
to
cold.
like wear socks.
However, I remember I haven't traveled recently with them, but South African Airways would give socks on the flight
That's
to
right.
like if from like New York to Johannesburg.
But are they like
Um
thin? Thin, not really
yeah.
best. Exactly. That's
Of
why.
course.
Exactly. That's why in my head I'm like, I'm still gonna carry my own, because the stuff they give, unless you're traveling first class or business class, it's not gonna
Yeah.
cut it. It's not going to cut it. But yeah, that
You
was
can
a
ask for
fun.
an extra maybe.
Yeah, really. You can wear two socks. Just wear your own good, comfortable socks.
Okay, okay,
That's a
okay.
fun one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I can guess what you're going to answer for this one, but let's just
Oh,
see. What do you
let's see.
prefer? A beach, the beach, or mountains?
Okay. The mountains.
I knew it. I knew you were going to say
Oh,
mountains.
yeah, the mountains. The mountains. I recently traveled to Edinburgh in Scotland and I can't wait for you to visit it. Instantaneously fell in love with it because it was hilly, it was mountainous, and I just like my soul just started singing um because it was just so good. Um and like I said, with the beach, it's probably because I need a skill. I need something to work with. Like I like swimming, and this is why I'm working on my swimming, because once
Hmm.
I can feel confident in swimming, I'm pretty sure I'll fall in love with the beach. But the mountains, definitely the mountains. I love a good hike. Again, and the thing with the mountains is it's just you and nature and your
Hmm.
thoughts. And yeah, and you have this goal to achieve, like at least for me, like getting to the top.
Hmm.
Like that gives me again and something to a challenge that I want to overcome. So it just works with my competitive nature, so I feel happy that I'm doing something and I'm heading somewhere. So it's just so cool. Actually, I one thing that I want to do and is I told you I want to get a dog, but I think the kind of dog might change. But I see
Hmm.
myself like walking my dog up a mountain. That just sounds like such a cool thing to do. And then we'll be all toned and everything. So cool.
It's so funny. I mean, I really.
I know.
That's what you're thinking about. But I could totally see you saying like the mountains, because after living in Boulder, like I know like you really enjoyed that. So I figured you were gonna say mountains. I was just gonna guess
Uh,
that. For me, I mean
yeah.
it's the beach. 'Cause
Yep.
as I said,
Yep.
I love anything water. I'll swim in the ocean, by the pool. I love water sports like paddle boarding, jet skiing. I love jet skiing. Um,
Mm,
I need to try surfing one day. I also need to try. So I need to try hoverboarding. Who's it? Hoverboarding? I don't know what it's. I don't know if I'm saying the right thing. Anything to do with
mm,
like water sports, I love it. So
yeah.
it's just so relaxing. Like white,
Yeah.
sandy, warm beach. It's so soothing. Like I think in Puerto Rico last year when I went, I just enjoyed the soothingness of the beach. It was so relaxing. It was so needed. Like
Mm.
so I like it. Now mountains also have a spot, but for me, I'm not thinking about climbing up the mountain necessarily. Like if I'm going for hiking, it's fine, I'll climb. But I'm thinking about staying
Yeah.
at a resort, like on a mountain or a cliff that has
Oh,
this
okay.
panoramic view of, I don't know, a forest or a valley or something, and it's just gorgeous. That's what I'm thinking
Yeah.
more so like the
Yeah.
panoramic view, the beautiful, like there's this resort in the Himalayas that I really want to go to in India.
Mm.
Plan. I have planned to go to that. And it's so gorgeous. And so that's what I think when I think about mountains. I still would do it again because I'm such a traveler. I would do that. But I love the beach, which I'm sure you're
Mm-hmm.
not
Oh,
surprised.
nope. I am not surprised at all. I actually see a beach home in your future. So
Yay! Yeah.
that is like we're manifesting it right now, right here.
Yes, we are.
Uh, watch this space. So no, not surprised. I'm seeing an infinity pool right now in the
Hmm.
works, and probably it's in the mountains. So overlooking the beach. Who knows? So it's you. You might get the
You
combination.
know, that would be actually a really perfect one because it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, that would be because I actually had that in Grenada. The house I was staying with was on top of the cliff, and then the beach was at
Mm,
the bottom. It was so
yeah.
gorgeous. It was so relaxing. Like, you come back from the
There we
stress
go.
of medical school, and then it was like, okay. Anyway, I'm
I
reminiscing.
know. I know.
I think we
Okay.
have time for
One
at
more.
least two more questions. Two or one or
Two
one
more.
more or two more.
Uh,
Depends. Do you have one? I have
okay.
one too.
Let me ask. I have one. Let's see.
I have a quick one.
Mm. Okay.
I,
Yeah.
I I don't know which one you'd prefer. Because depending what would you
Okay.
prefer. So would you prefer the cities or countryside? This one I'm not sure what you would say.
Whew. Good. Actually, you're right. You're actually very right. City or countryside? This is a tough one because I've come to appreciate the countryside
Mm-hmm.
um because it also gives me time to relax. Um City because they're people and I love to get to know
True.
people. Oh man, this is yo, this is a tough one. Whew. Can I say
I
neutral?
knew. Yeah, you could. I knew this was going to be a tough one. I was like, I wonder what Choolwe is going to say.
No, this one I am really neutral. I want to explore the countryside. Did I tell you I've this another vision, or I guess, or dream of just going to like what do you call this? Like an orchard, or pick some apples or some grapes, and just be in that space of, I don't know, like like just being in nature, but like with food, like Mother Nature's
Hmm.
food. I don't know. Um, this is my two, this is my another one of my other trips that I want to take on. So I love that idea. And then just make something out of the apples, or drink some wine with the grapes. So I'm neutral. That's my answer. And
Hmm.
yourself?
I think I'd prefer cities because I'm a city person.
Mm,
Having lived in New York City, I love cities. But I love cities in the sense that one of my dreams is to have a penthouse suite overlooking a city.
mm,
Like that is so you're up there. It's relaxing. It's cold. You're away from the drama at the bottom, and it's
mm-hmm,
very. You have a beautiful panoramic view. So I love cities.
mm-hmm,
However, countryside does have its place, in which once in a while, it's
mm,
important to go and relax. But it also depends on what type of countryside. Like I
mm.
don't want village. Like I wouldn't mind going to like Tuscany, that has a lot of like countryside, rolling hills and things like that. That kind of vibe,
Mm-hmm,
yeah. But it's so countryside does have its place, but I wouldn't do it as often depending on how country it is. Like how
mm-hmm,
villagey it is, I guess. Um, but it definitely has its place, as you said, for relaxing. I agree. But I lean
mm.
more towards the cities.
More towards the city. Okay. That's
Yeah.
good to know, actually. That's good to know. Okay. I have one more question.
Okay.
What kind of souvenirs do you like to bring back from your trips? If you even do bring back souvenirs.
So I'm gonna pivot this and take it a different direction. Then I'll come back.
Mm.
One of my dreams is to have a traveling room in my house in the future that just has pictures
Hmm.
and souvenirs and stuff from the places I've traveled to. I have
Okay.
been collecting random like souvenirs, um, and I would like to like put them in this room as like a collage. That's one of my dreams.
Yeah.
Now, as to what type of souvenir, it kind of is hard. So one of the things I like getting is I try to get like if it's like a top, like a dress, like if some clothing item, like if they have a certain like ethnic clothing or clothing that's more traditional to the country, I love it. Like when I went to Peru, I got this nice poncho and I got like a kind of like a mini sweater that was made out of their stuff, like
Mm-hmm.
uh, things like that. Like if I go home to Kenya, I like to get like Maasai outfits, like material stuff or things like that. I think clothing, particularly if
Mm-hmm.
it's something I can use, like if it's like elephant pants,
Mm-hmm.
something I can use, I will get it. um,
Mm-hmm.
you can never go wrong with magnets, fridge magnets. It always shows you
Mm.
where you've been and all that. So I think fridge magnets is a good one. Um, the other thing I would say is, oh, this one. I, I can say I'm ashamed. I haven't done this for all these years, but I always take away money. Like I need to have a bill from the different countries I've been to for different currencies because my goal is
Mm.
to have like a book with all the different currencies in the world and like put it in like as my
Mm.
travel currency book. So that's something I tend to do is keep money from each section, each part, each country I've been in the world. So I'm supposed to put it in my book like as a collage and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But have I done that?
Mm-hmm.
No. So do I have random
Mm.
notes in what I have like a wallet that has my random notes. Um
Yeah.
and I'm still yet to do that. But I think
Mm.
that's a fun one. Um yeah, I think that's what I do. Oh, food stuff. Now if there's something that I like or particularly from that
Mm.
country or something more specific for that country, I also try to bring back any kind of like food stuff that I can bring back. If it's a snack or if it's something like if it's tea, coffee, whatever it is, but I feel like it's more native to that country and I enjoyed it and I liked it. That's also something I
Mm-hmm.
tend to pick up. Yeah.
Yeah. Ah. Okay.
What about you?
So I was just listening to you talk and be like, wow, you're gonna, set up a room, which is great. But as you had mentioned, I am lazy. I am lazy on the souvenir collection bit. Like, I don't know. Like, I'll look at it and I'll be like, where? Like, to be honest, the engineering mind comes in. Like, what's the function of this? Okay, so this is supposed to help me remember that I came here, and
Memories.
I'm like, yeah, I know it's memories, but it's like I'm already here. So I know I should probably be more
Yeah.
uh maybe less selfish because I can share my experience with other people. So if I have a statement piece where people say, "Oh, where did you get that from?" and I'll say, "Well, 2 years ago I traveled to this place." Um, like you, my type of souvenirs are things that get eaten. So I actually eat up my souvenirs. So I, I don't actually, they don't actually stay. So when I recently traveled to Belgium, for example, I packed a load of like Belgian waffles for breakfast. In my mind, I was like, for the next, week and a half or 2 weeks, I'm gonna have Belgian waffles every day, and I did, and that's it. They're gone. They're gone. Um, and now I think about it, maybe yes, I should have gotten some magnet to remind me that I did go to Belgium.
Hmm.
So I think I think I'm a little bit lazy on that. So I think you're calling me out on this. I think, and I'm doing this in public on a podcast. Yeah, I need to be more. Yeah, just just kind of like, yeah, get souvenirs and keep them for memory, as you said. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm really bad at this, but I do take pictures. But then again, with the pictures, I haven't taken the time to have them published and put them in a frame, um
Mm-hmm.
just for memories as well. So I kind of need to work on that. So
Well, that's a good one. And now that when as you travel, I'll remind you. I'll be like, "What souvenirs did you bring?" I'll just gently
yes,
remind you.
you're right.
But
You're
we have
right.
come to the end of this episode. There's going to be travel Q&A part 2, most likely part 3, because
Yes.
there's so many questions to ask, and it's such a fun thing. And we learn a lot about, like, I've been learning a lot about Choolwe. She's learning a lot about me. I love it. Like, this has been such a
Yeah.
fun episode. So there'll be Q&A part 2, part
Or
3.
two.
There's
Yes.
so much to, there's so many more questions we have to discuss and
Yeah.
compare. But as of now, just a reminder, we are on all the major podcast platforms: Spotify, Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, you name it. So please follow us on these podcasts, on these platforms. Please also, yes, shameless plug, please rate our show. It really helps. It goes a long way for in helping us. If you know people who would benefit from this podcast, please share it with them. If you have any questions, you want to reach out to us, our email is thefeminine_outliers@gmail.com. We also have an Instagram, which is also called the Feminine Outliers.
Mm-hmm.
And we will be posting stuff. And please follow us again on that, on the Feminine Outliers. That will actually be a really easy way to reach out to us, because if you just direct message us on Instagram, it'll be easy for us to, respond back to you. Other than
Mm-hmm.
that, we look forward to see you guys on the next episode. This month of March, which is Women's Month. So
Woo!
really hope, you enjoy these episodes. And, again, as I said, would love to engage with you guys. So until next time, have fun, live large, and don't be afraid to be an outlier.